Hello and welcome to my JKD Academy. My name is Sifu George Hajnasar, and this is Sao Yi and I'm Foki. So what I'd like to introduce to you today is some JKD terminology. A lot of pronunciation in JKD is actually not pronounced correctly, including myself. So when I teach, the way I learned it from my instructors, most of them are Americans, and the way they pronounced it was different. So everybody did it differently, so I learned it differently. But throughout the years, what I did, I went around to different people, just like Sue, I'm going to refer to her because that's her real name, and she used to help me how to pronounce things correctly. So she speaks Cantonese perfectly, and she actually speaks perfect English. And I had to give her a shirt today just to bribe her, just to come here and help us out. So I hope this is going to help you in your JKD teaching or your Wing Chun teaching, because every person pronounces it differently. So hopefully this will help us all as a team or as instructors. So I hope you enjoy it and stick around. Let's start here. So Sue's going to explain a little bit about the Cantonese dialects and things like that, because if you want to learn Lebanese, you come to me, because in the Middle East, they all speak differently. So even though they all speak Arabic, some people from Lebanon, like myself, I speak with different dialects. So I might pronounce things differently. People from Egypt or Syria or from Iraq or Kuwait, they all speak differently, even though we all speak Arabic, and we could understand each other, but the dialect's totally different. So Sue's going to explain that to us, so gives you some idea how to, how to pronounce things.
Okay.
Sue?
So as many of you may have heard, the Chinese language has lots of ups and downs, and it's very tonal. So one word phonetically spelled in English can mean many different things. So for example, my favorite example is the word ma, spelled M-A in English. So there's ma, which means mother, ma, which means grandmother, ma, which indicates a question, and ma for horse. So you see, the way that it sounds, it's spelled M-A in English, but it has 4 different meanings. The other thing that you may have noticed is that Chinese has lots of different dialects, like George has mentioned. There's Cantonese, there's Mandarin, there's Taiwanese. There's so many different dialects. They're all written the same, but they all sound very different. So Bruce Lee's dialect is Hong Kong Cantonese. And while I'm not from Hong Kong, the Cantonese that I do speak is very similar. So I'll do my best in sharing that with you.
Okay, thank you. So I'm just going to go over some of the techniques that we normally use in class, when you have a student comes into your gun, into your dojo, and they want to learn. So first, we're just going to start with the word like "welcome to my gun," So how do you greet a student coming in?
So "Fun Ying" is the way to say welcome. If you want to say welcome to our JKD Academy, it's actually the opposite way around. So it would be "Fun Ying你嚟我哋個武館."
So a little bit slower.
歡迎你嚟我哋武館, which literally translates to welcome you to our JKD Academy.
Okay, so when they walk in, I say, I'm Sifu George, and so the word Sifu is accurate?
Correct, yes.
So you say I'm Sifu George. So as a student, what do I call a student?
徒弟.
So todai, like with that, you got to say it that way. Todai.
Exactly. Yep.
Okay, I used to say todai. Would that still?
It's very close.
Very close.
Yes.
Okay, so there's a little bit of that singing sound in
Exactly.
there. Okay, so let's start. If we say they walk in usually into the class, and we start always what I call anyway. I'm not going to say used to. JKD Gin Lai, JKD Bao. So the students start with the bow. So how do you say Gin Lai?
Gin Lai.
So Gin Lai. So you see, again, this sounds a little bit different than the way I teach it. So they start with the bow. We say Gin Lai. So we start like this, and we start the bow. So I used to, the way I bow, I start here, which is I call it peace, love, JKD. Because I used to say it's called Sap Ji Sao, character 10 or X.
Sap Ji Sao, yep.
Okay, Quan Sao, rolling hand.
Yep, Quan Sao.
And Sao Kun.
Sao Kun.
Sao Kun. Okay, good. Now, the academy here is called Jeet Kune Do Academy of Mixed Martial Arts. So how do you say Jeet Kune Do?
Jeet Kune Do.
So Kun?
Kun.
Okay. Now, when the Jeet Kune Do means the way of the intercepting fist.
Right.
Okay, so everybody knows that. So when they walk into the academy, I like to teach them a lot of the actual terminology. So when I teach it, I like to teach most of the blocks and strikes in Chinese Cantonese. Because that's what Bruce was. He was, Chinese Cantonese, but yet he was born in the States. So his real name was, we know him as Bruce Lee.
Right.
What do you call him? And we know we used to call him Li Silong. We used to call him Lei Junfan.
Yep. So Lei Xiulong, which which means little dragon.
Okay.
And then his real name, Lei Junfan.
So a lot of people know him as Li Junfan, and how come you say Lei Junfan?
Li is really the English spelling of the word, and so with the English pronunciation, it's pronounced Li, but in the Cantonese way of saying it's actually Lei, which is spelled L-E-I.
Okay, so we call him Bruce Silong, and so
Silong would be his middle
how come we
name.
use the word Bruce Silong?
Bruce is his English name that
Right.
he took when he moved to the States.
Okay,
Right?
so can we say Li Silong?
Lei
Lei
Silong.
Silong. Okay, cool. All right, so we're gonna go over some of the actual blocks and strikes. Okay.
Sure.
So the first block that I teach, the 4 basic blocks in Jeet Kune Do, is the actual what we call Pak Sao. So push in hand. So
Right.
so it's called Pak Sao.
Pak Sao, yep.
Okay, so just please repeat after me. I want them to hear the way I say it and the way you say it, because your sound a little bit different from the way I'm hearing it.
Okay.
You sound totally different from me. Okay, it must be the Lebanese in me.
Right.
Okay,
I would
so
say so.
okay, so we go Pak Sao.
Pak Sao,
Okay, Tan Sao.
Tan Sao,
Okay, so Gan Sao,
Gan Sao,
Gam Sao,
Gam Sao,
Wu Sao.
Wu Sao,
Okay, Fok Sao.
Fuk Sao,
Okay, Bu Sao,
Biu Sao,
Loi Jat Sao,
Loi Jat Sao,
Noi Jat Sao.
Noi Jat Sao.
Okay, good. So now when I go the punch, the vertical punch in Jeet Kune Do, what we call is Yak Ji Chun Kun. So I get Yak Ji Chun Kun.
Yat Ji, Yat Ji Chung Kun.
Okay, so if I go Yak Ji Chun Kun,
Yat Ji Chung Kun.
okay, when I do continuous chain of punching, it's called Lin Wai Kun.
Lin Wai Kun.
Okay, Lin.
Lin, yep.
Okay, it's not Lin.
No.
Okay, I used to call it Lin, so it's Lin Wai Kun.
Lin
So
Wai Kun.
Lin Wai Kun.
Yes.
Okay, good. So those are just the basic punching. So if I say, for example, like elbow strike. So if I get Hey John,
Is this
Upward
word?
elbow.
Okay, so Hei Zhang. Zhang is the word for elbow. So
Okay.
Hei Zhang,
okay, Pai John,
for
inward elbow.
inward, yep,
Yep.
Pai
So,
Zhang.
so you can see the motion of my elbow. So that's why I'm trying to make it easier for you, so you can see the direction.
Yep.
Because I know you don't teach Jeet Kune Do, but I want other people to understand.
Yes.
When I say outward elbow, so I say Sun John.
Sun Zhan,
Okay, Sao John, retracting elbow.
Sao Zhang,
Okay, Guai John, overarching elbow.
Wai Zhan, yep.
And Chum John.
Chum Zhan,
Okay, good. So now, so we do it the same. So how do you say left?
Jaw,
Jaw and right?
Yao.
Yao. So yao, jaw. Okay, good. Now, if I, for example, we use a lot of the wooden dummy techniques, okay? Then I'll go back to the kicks, because I would just like to, because a lot of these techniques are applied on a wooden dummy. I call it the mukjan.
Mok Yan Zhong,
So mukyan jan. We call it mukyan jan fa la ling ba.
Mok Yan Zhong, Ling Yat Ling Bat is 108, right?
So wooden dummy, 108 wooden dummy motions or something like that.
Yes, it's exactly what
So
it means.
mukyan jan fa ya ling ba.
Fat Yat Ling Bat, yeah.
Okay, so that's the wooden dummy. So all the techniques can be applied, as far as the hands techniques, could be applied on the mukjan.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to go back to the kick. So in the first kick, what I teach normally is 5 basic kicks. So the first kick is called jig tek.
Tic Tac,
Okay,
perfect.
so front kick. The second kick we call either now or out tek.
Out Tac,
Okay, so hook kick.
right.
So the third kick is called juk tek, side kick.
Juk Tac,
Juk tek. Okay, and the fourth kick is how tek, is back kick.
How Tac, yep.
Okay, and the most important kick is called jit, like Jeet Kune Do, stop kick.
Jeet Tac,
Jit tek, so stop kick. So
Yes.
that's correct. Okay, so how do you say sweep kick? Like so tek?
So Tac,
Okay, what about jun tek? Is that like spinning back kick?
Jun Tac,
Jun tek?
Jun Tac, yes.
Okay, pretty good. Like elbow strikes. When I go to elbow strikes and we go like jing jan, vertical palm strikes.
Chin Jern,
Jing jan.
yep, Jern.
Okay,
Yep.
so chan jan. Again, so you say jern, not jan.
It's Jern. Jern
Jern.
is the palm.
Okay.
Yep.
And chan dai jan, jern.
Chin Dai Jern.
Because I'm used to jan, before.
Right.
And pao jern.
Pao Jern.
It's
Jern.
upward.
Yep.
Okay, cool. And this is fan sao, chopping,
Fan Sao, yep.
fan sao. Okay. Now, what about if we actually, the word is like when we start counting. So I like to count when I'm teaching. So I
Right.
tell especially the kids, they love it when I count like 1 through 10 or 1 through 20. And we start with saying ya, yi, some say, lo, cha, but, gao, sa.
Right.
Okay, I just like you, so it's 1 through 10. So when you say it, I'm going to say 1 and you repeat it. So 1,
Yat,
2,
Yi,
3,
Sam,
4,
Say,
5,
五、
6,
六、
7,
七、
8,
八、
9,
九、
10,
十、
11,
十一、
12,
十二、
13,
十三、
14,
十四、
15,
十五、
16,
十六、
17,
十七、
18,
十八、
19,
十九、
20.
二十。
Perfect. So these are the things I like to, teach the kids, and they love it, and they go home, they have some kind of homework to work
Yeah,
on.
I think it's
And,
wonderful.
and I think it's nice to call some of the techniques in Chinese instead of calling, say, 1, 2, 3. It's kind of boring, and the parents like it. So another thing is, like, what I like, how do you, like, when a student comes in and we're going to do, like, some kind of sparring or things like that, and I say, get the group together, I say, okay, like, let's get together. Like, and everybody's working out, and you want them to stop. Is there such a word called, like, Jeep? I've heard the word Jeep, like stop.
Jeep, yeah, it really is to mean to stop, but it's not exactly the colloquial term that people would use.
Okay.
So you could say 大家停一停 means everybody please stop, and they'll get their attention.
Okay, can we say that a little slower?
大家 means everybody.
Taiga.
大家
Okay.
停一停
Okay.
means just stop a little while.
Okay, what if you just say stop?
停
Ting?
停
Not Jeep or Jeep.
Jeep is like cease. That's the equivalent of the
Okay.
English, yeah.
Okay, so you could use it.
You could, yeah, you could.
Before I used to say Quan, it's like the gates of martial arts. So I used to
Right.
say, when you come into my gates, so because I've heard the word, a lot of times I said, I don't like to say gun, or mo gun, and I would say like, come to my dojo, come to my Quan. So it's a correct, because I pretty much like the gates of my school,
Right.
you come to
Guan,
the gates.
yeah.
Because I've heard it, so I just don't want it to be different.
Guan can be used as gate, that's right. So if you say, Mogun is actually the school.
Right.
So you can, it's better to use that, but you can use Guan as well. Guan literally means gate and door.
Gate.
So,
Well, yeah, the entry. So a lot of
Right.
times we use the term walk on. So walk on through my gates.
Right.
So that's my Quan. So that's okay. Well, I want to thank you because I don't want to. We could sit here forever and talk about this. And just tell us how do you say, just for the last thing, how do you say yin yang or yam yung?
Yum yer.
Yam yang.
Yum yer is yin
Okay.
yang.
In Cantonese.
Yes.
Okay. So a lot of people say they know as yin yang.
Right, that's
So
the
yam
English
yang.
spelling.
Okay. Can you just please read this for me? It says the system without a system. It's
Yeah.
so Mo Jun Sing Yao Ju.
冇轉勝有轉.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you. And thank you very much. And thank you for watching. And Sue, thank you. We appreciate
You're
you coming
welcome.
here and helping us out. Thank you.